Got an early start this morning. Yesterday I reached kind of the area I thought about stopping at, and I obviously need to extend my estimates because I always end up reaching where I thought I was going to spend the day getting to by noon or 1 p.m. But yesterday I just didn't feel like going on. I was just feeling fatigued. I had a headache. Probably didn't help that I'd done Baden-Powell the prior day and was probably still a little sap from that. So it was just like a 12.5 mile day. So I figure that's good enough for the day. And it was good to actually just sit there at a campground because normally I'm getting ready and going straight to bed when I reach my tent site. But this place was nice, had some picnic tables, and I just sat there in the sun staying warm and watching the lizards. And they're a crazy group, and there were dozens of them all around me. So that was kind of fun. It's good to get some rest. Got up really early this morning and decided to hit these hills early. I'm going downhill right now, which is nice, but got some more uphills to do. But we'll see how far we get today. I'd planned on going around 16.5, but we'll see how long that takes me to get there and whether I keep going. If I do, that'll save me a 19-mile tomorrow. It looks like the Pacific Crest Trail and this Silver Moccasin Trail overlap. I'll have to look that one up and see where it goes, but it's kind of cool to walk on two trails at once. Some people put a lot of effort into their trail messages. I did figure out what was wrong with my backpack. At least it looks like it's what's wrong. The Z-Packs Arc Haul that I have, it actually has like two, I don't know, maybe they're carbon fiber rods that go down the back, and you're supposed to bend them by pulling these straps so that they have an arc, the Arc Haul. Well, they're supposed to stay straight up and down, and one of the poles bows out to the side and throws the pack off. And even when I've readjusted it countless times now, and even with taking it all apart, follow the instructions that Arc Haul has, it lasts for just a little bit, then pops right back on out. And it kind of looks like it's a little off kilter, even when there's no load. It's not arced or anything. So I'm beginning to think that there was a manufacturing defect where it's a little off, but I'm still playing around with it. But I may contact Z-Packs and ask them about that, because what happens is there's some sun. What happens is the backpack starts squeaking. The pieces in the back, where straps are attached to, start rubbing against the hip belt and causes a high-pitched squeak on either side of the pack. And that gets annoying after miles of that. And I can sometimes readjust the pack or knock it around or knock the pole a little bit. So I've been able to do that, but sometimes it takes me taking my pack off, which it's no fun. You never want to take your pack off. It's a pain to take off and put back on. It is absolutely gorgeous in here, and I hear a squirrel throwing a fit. But regardless of the squirrel, it's gorgeous in here. I love it right now. Not too cool, and there is no wind, and so you get to just kind of enjoy the trail and enjoy the trees. So loving it this morning, absolutely loving it. I could hike like this all day. Well, I was just cruising along, enjoying this awesome section of trail, and there it was. A full 100 miles, baby. Well, I met the guy that fell on Mount Baden-Powell that the two people I met told me about, their friend. I just met him a moment ago, and his arm was all bandaged up and everything. He told me his story. He actually slipped on that ascent, the one that goes straight up the side of the mountain, cutting all the switchbacks. That was the sketchiest part as far as I was concerned, because I knew you slip here, you're going down a ways. Well, that's what happened to him. He thought he had a good foothold, slipped, and he went down about 35 feet before a tree stopped his fall, and he showed me the big bruise on his side. So I'd say overall he got lucky, just with scraped arm and side there. They did medevac him out on a helicopter, though, apparently, to get him out of there, because he was pretty banged up. Well, that doesn't bode well. I wonder if that's a controlled burn or a fire that started. The trail's heading that way. I'm kind of loath to go that way now. Well, another hiker came by, and I pointed out the smoke plume to him, and he said, "Oh, I saw that a while back." So I must have missed it, but he saw it, and he says it hasn't gotten any bigger. So we're kind of concluding controlled burn, and going to keep on hiking. The trail goes up and around it, so we'll know shortly. Well, a group of hikers got together and we were talking about it, and one guy said that he saw some fire trucks go by when he was out near one of the roads. So they didn't have their sirens on or anything, so it still could be a controlled burn and they were just on their way. But regardless, I'm going to push forward toward the Sulphur Springs campground, I think is the name of it. At least at that point there's water and roads in and out, so gives you a little bit better access, and then can kind of figure out, what do we know? Well, it was pretty smoky there for a bit. It looked like the smoke had turned a white, as if they were putting it out. I contacted my girlfriend on my Garmin, and she was nice enough to look it up and found that there were actually two fires, one north and one south of me, and that they had both been contained. So that's good news, because the valley was kind of filling up with smoke there for a bit, so kind of worries you. But good to know that they're contained, and time to move on. Well, I reached the spot I was going to stop after getting some water, but it was still only about 2:45. So I decided I'm going to keep on going. Some people I passed were going to go down to a fire station and camp there. It's about another 6.7 miles, and already done a mile of it, and the rest of it's pretty much downhill. So I think it's doable. That'll give me a 23.4 mile day, which isn't bad. But for right now, I am looking at this view, and it is amazing. I'm still gobsmacked with the big cloud cover that you see that goes forever. It makes it look like there's nothing out in the rest of the world, just clouds. Okay, Lizard, I think you got the other one. You can let him go now. So I've hiked down into the clouds and it's kind of wet and cold. I wonder if I will get below them by the end of my little journey. I think only about a half a mile to go, but it is downhill, so maybe I'll get out of the fog. I guess they're clouds when they're high up and fog when they're low down. So these clouds are fog for me. Well, this was an interesting into the night. We reached the fire station, but you can't camp there. So we're kind of at this day use area, and I'm camped next to the bathroom, and we're just kind of hanging out there. Well, one guy ordered some pizza up on when he had some cell reception. There's no cell reception where we are right now. So he brought some pizza, and that was kind of cool. So we got to eat that, but we're in the fog. And apparently it's like this all over the place. So all those cool clouds I saw that looked so pretty, I think they were all this fog. There's a 60% chance of rain in the morning, and then probably for the next couple of days. So I'm hoping not. This is fun enough to hike in, but tent set up, and I'm gonna hope to stay warm as possible tonight. It's pretty chilly in here, but everyone seems to be in pretty good spirits because it's always fun to commiserate. And as you can see, I'm parked behind a tractor. They're doing some construction here apparently, but I'm parked behind that because that's the one spot I can get shelter from the wind. So time to go to bed. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Well, got some rain last night. Got a couple little puddles in the tent, but mostly I slept dry. Although I've got a fine damp layer across everything because of the fog / cloud / whatever you want to call this thing. And it did rain a little bit. There's some dude that just has a tarp that he puts up like a lean-to and wanders around barefoot in the cold here. That guy is Rambo as far as I'm concerned, but he doesn't seem to care. I stay in my tent. So today I'm going to try to make it to a ranger station 17.6 miles away. Seems like it's probably as good a spot as any to go to. No water there, maybe some a water cache I've heard, but I'm going to plan on no water and get some before that. I guess they hand out sodas or something too, so I'll take that. I think that's about as far as I'll probably make it today, and then have to pitch camp, and maybe I can hit the KOA tomorrow. So good chance of rain today. Hopefully it's just sprinkles and not some kind of downpour. I'm expecting a lot of wind, so I've got full rain gear on now and just gonna power through it. I have a feeling it's gonna be a cold day. Nothing like a nice hill to start off your morning. It's actually kind of neat hiking out here. I don't feel like I'm hiking in the desert. I feel like I'm hiking on the coast because it's so moist here. Well, the rain started. I don't mind walking in the rain like this though. In fact, I somewhat enjoy it, kind of. As long as it doesn't come down too hard and there's no wind. So wind is what makes it bad. But this is kind of interesting. You get to listen to the rain outside. It's one of the reasons I moved to Washington. I like to listen to the rain outside. So I do like walking in it. Camping in it, a little different story, but can't have one without the other. Well, the rain keeps getting stronger, but I did find a new use for my trekking poles. Bushwhacker. Every time you go by one of these bushes, and sometimes you can't avoid them, they extend over the trail, and so you have to crash into them. Every time you hit one, it drops like a quarter cup or more of water on your feet. So I just hit the bush ahead of time and gets all the water off, or at least a good portion of it. I stopped at this campground really quickly for lunch. I'm not going to stay too long. It is cold. A few other hikers I've met, a German lady, she's really cold and she doesn't have rain pants. So she's kind of miserable and looking to figure out the fastest way to get out of here. So I can't say I blame her. It is pretty chilly. I finally had to put my gloves on. I thought my hands were fine until I stopped to pee and realized I'd lost all fine motor movements. When it takes you 15 to 20 minutes to go to the bathroom, you got a problem. So I'm gonna get my gloves back on and then head down the mountain. Hopefully the ranger station will have something a little more better to camp. Well, I had to go through another bout of rain and live in the clouds, but it is clearing up now, so getting below the clouds. I hope I stay there. I think actually I do at this point. It's all down into the desert area now, which is good. I may get rained on, but at least I won't be constantly surrounded by water vapor. So that'll keep me drier automatically. And of course it's starting to rain again. Better get down. Well, I made it to the station and set up my tent just before the rain started coming in force, so that's good. I laid out my quilt to kind of dry out a little bit over here because it was still moist from sleeping in the clouds before. Maybe it can dry out a little bit in here. There's not been any sun or anything today to dry it out with, so that's as good as it's going to get. It's a little bit of air drying in here since we're below the clouds now. Maybe there'll be a lot less water vapor here. So as good as it's going to get. Now I heard they had a vending machine here, so I'm going to go see if there's anything cool in there I can get. It's a beautiful morning today. It rained on us hard all last night. There were a group of us set up in the horse corral. So I had my own fenced in area. Keeps the bears out, I guess. But man, it rained hard and I was hoping things would be a little bit drier in the morning, but nope, everything's wet. And not because of the rain, but just because moisture in the air condenses on the tent and gets on your quilt, and my clothes were damp, so get to put on damp clothes. But I did save a pair of dry socks just for the occasion, and so even though my shoes, pants, shirt, everything else is wet, my socks are dry, at least for the moment. I checked the forecast and it looks like staying here will be bad because it's going to get thunderstorms later in the afternoon. But the farther I go down, the better the weather gets. So I may just, instead of trying to go to KOA like I was considering doing today, I think I might just try to make it all the way to Agua Dulce and hiker heaven. It's only 18 miles, so that's totally doable. And there I can do laundry, which I don't think I've done laundry in at least a week. So definitely need that. And Chrissy sent me a new pair of shoes. So they're waiting in a box there at Hiker Heaven. And these shoes definitely are at their end of date. At least I think they're still maybe structurally fine, but smell wise, they belonged in the horse corral. Whew. So it would be good to switch those out and get some new ones and kind of contrast what it feels like to see if some of what I'm feeling in my shoes, if that's just the trail or maybe the shoes breaking down a little bit. So that'll be an interesting thing, but regardless, it'll be wonderful to get new shoes. Look at that glorious sky, and I can actually see the ground. I'm liking this weather. It's cool, but it's not that super chill cold stuff that I've been hiking in. So this is awesome. Well, I'm about 5 miles from Agua Dulce. The sun came back out, as well as the wind. I swear, in the desert section, these mountains never heard of a gentle breeze, only gale force winds. But I guess they kind of settle down after Agua Dulce, probably because it's super flat. So that'll be nice, but it should be hotter. Although with the cold I've had, maybe I like that. There is a pizza parlor in Agua Dulce, so I think I may have to avail myself of that after I get in town and get all set up. I always like these tunnels that go under the mountain. The Highway 14 goes over this one, so you get to go through a culvert and go underneath the highway to get to the other side. Always fun. I feel so bad for these tadpoles that swim into one spot and then get trapped. I wish I could do something. Maybe I can. I dug a little channel so that they can get to the moving water, and hopefully they'll all go out from there. A lot of them did, and they're out in the main water, so maybe they'll make it to frogs now. There's a lot more of them that are happy. Hopefully that wasn't a waste of time. But there is still flowing water here, so I'll give them a little channel. Hopefully they'll grow their little legs and get out of here. When you first see one of these guys going across the trail, it gets your attention. He's just a gopher snake, I believe, but I give all snakes some respect now, just in case they have rattles and fangs. But he's a big one. Oh, I made it through Vasquez rocks. Those are pretty cool. And I'm in Agua Dulce now. First time for that. And it's kind of cool. The PCT is actually this road I'm on. The PCT actually rips through town, right through the middle of it. So you have to go to downtown, Agua Dulce, whatever downtown means. They have a pizza parlor, so I know that it means that much. But I'm gonna go past that to get to Hiker Heaven. And hopefully it's not too overloaded, but supposedly you can do everything there. Shower, laundry, charge your devices, etc. So looking forward to getting there, throwing my stuff down. I dried out my rain jacket and my puffy when I sat down for lunch earlier today in the sun, but I still need to lay out my quilt and get that dried off and let my tent dry off in the sun. So if I could do that and maybe get cleaned up and go get some pizza, that would be good. Hiker Heaven. When I came up, someone greeted me and gave me a little guide and walked me around. I went and set my stuff up and started drying some things out first. Now I think I need to go get some mail. They have a shuttle that goes to town too. This place is pretty cool.